The following is a live presentation of CBC Sports.
Konnichiwa, Tomoyo. Welcome back to That Figure Skating Show. I am clearly your polyglot host, Asher Hill, and sitting across from me, searing my eyes with her brilliance, the queen of commentary, Brenda Irving.
Hello, Asher.
How you been?
Good, great.
Good. We, of course, are recapping the NHK Trophy that happened this past weekend, a figure skater's favorite event, and what an event it was.
Oh, dynamite.
We first start the Japanese women sweep the podium. Madison Chalk and Evan Bates take an NHK gold for the first time. Historic win in the pairs for Georgia. And we will be looking forward to the Finlandia Trophy.
One thing I love about NHK is because it's in Japan, like nowhere else in the world is figure skating more popular than in that country. And all the seats they have that are available, they're filled.
And the audience helps the skaters so much. This is why I think NHK is one of the best events on the Grand Prix circuit every season. Everyone always comes out and shows up. But let's start. Where are we starting, Brenda?
We're going to start with dance and the Americans. The world champions, Madison Chalk, Evan Bates. They won this competition, no big surprise there. Their American counterparts, Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko, they won the silver medal, set a new personal best in the rhythm dance, and then Allison Reed and Salius help me out here.
Ambrulevicius.
Ambrulevicius. I should know that. Lithuania. Anyway, they won the bronze medal. And, they're a great team as well.
Yeah.
But, the Americans, they stumbled, right? They didn't win in their first Grand Prix event of the season. That was Skate America. They finished in second place, and the free dance was a problem for them. But... not here.
Not here. But, they gave me a little bit of a scare because Madison did have a fall in the rhythm dance warm-up, but not a problem. Hit a huge score there for the season. But this Take 5 free program is absolutely immaculate. Look at her on that choreographic spinning movement, hair check, fingernails check. Just absolutely gorgeous. She knows how to really grab a moment. And I love her dress. She never misses on an outfit. I like the Great Gatsby vibe, that little Art Deco. The twizzles that we just saw there, I think were kind of the weakest element for me in this program. But what I loved about what this vehicle did for me is it transported me. I felt like I was in a jazzy club surrounded by smoke and drinking my Giga water and maybe great alcohol that may make me go blind. But that's the kind of thing that you want from a top ice dance team to really change the mood. And I
did not feel like that though at Skate America.
No.
But anyways, it was 3 weeks ago that they were at Skate America. So it's
what
really
a difference
really
3
good.
weeks makes, because I even not only love this free program more, but the rhythm dance that I think a lot of people haven't liked because of the massive amount of music changes. It sold me. I actually really liked it. I wasn't expecting to, but again, 3 weeks makes a big difference for these two.
And their total score was 17 points higher than their American counterparts who finished in second place. But you loved what they did at this event as well.
Yes, Carrera and Ponomarenko, their free program was Carmen, which at first you're like, ugh.
Passe.
Again, she's been murdered in figure skating way too many times. Let her rest. But interestingly enough, their coach, Scott Moyer, and choreographer, who did arguably one of the best renditions of Carmen in figure skating with Tessa Virtue. So talk about pressure not only to perform it for figure skating fans, but in front of your coach who just did it the best. They had beautiful moments like this in their choreographic sequence. She has them pinned right up against the boards. And then she kind of throws that thing in his face at the end of the choreographed sequence. I was like, should I be watching this? but I loved it. Christina Carrera was an absolute superstar, and here that deep, passionate kiss.
Are they a couple on and off the ice, or what's the deal
Well,
there?
for this moment, they are.
Okay, I guess after that kiss, right? It's a slam dunk.
Absolutely. I'm not really sure, but congratulations to the team at IM, especially with a program like Carmen that's been overdone. It can be easily so played out, but they made it solely their own.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And with that first place finish, Madison Chalk, Evan Bates, they're off to the Grand Prix final, one of two teams that have guaranteed their spots. We'll have more on that a little bit later. Now to the pairs competition. You never know what you're going to get with the pairs, but you would have imagined that the Japanese 2023 world champions might have won it. Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kahara, but it was Anastasia Medokina and Luca Barilava who won this event because of a little mistake or two in the free by the Japanese team. Ellie Kam, Danny O'Shea finished with the bronze medal. But let's start off with Anastasia and Luca. They're the 2024 World Junior Champions, relatively new to the scene. How pumped must they be? The fact that they won in Japan against the former world champions from Japan.
They must be over the moon, kind of like the German teams, Minerva and Fabian Haase and Nikita Volodin. They're very, very new. They were doing double duty last year, junior and senior. But here in this free program, she plays the spirit of death, taking a man to the other side. And you know what I love about this team is their confidence on their side-by-side jumps. This is what's gonna make them a big threat. Often the top teams have been messing up those side-by-side jumps. They have huge throws, something I feel like is kind of missing in pairs now. He really just tosses her. They have great storytelling. They're so well matched, and they have such great range. They max out on all their levels in the free program, and in the short program they do like an 80s workout vibe. And here she plays death, as you can see, putting on that hood as she takes yet another victim in the circle of life.
Well, and it made history for Georgia because it's the first ever medal, any color, for that country in pairs figure skating. And, they had some trouble at their first Grand Prix competition, Skate America. They finished fourth there. Problems in the free. Nice to see them clean that up. And also, they've guaranteed themselves a spot in the Grand Prix final, as has Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kahara, who finished, I guess they would say, a disappointing second.
Yes. Although they didn't come away with the gold like they wanted at home, the free program actually was a better one than their first competition. The jumps looked a little bit more secure, a little bit of mistakes here and there on the throws, but here is where we saw the biggest mistake for them that gave the Georgians the win. This pair spin, it seems like their feet got too far apart. They just lost balance, so they have to put their foot down. They lose that entire element at first. They eventually just gave them a level 1 and a V, so they lost about 4 to 5 points on that element, paving the way for Georgia to make history.
Yeah, but both teams end up going to the Grand Prix final, which is kind of the name of the game, especially with then the World Championships not too far away, and we won't even talk about the Olympics yet. I'm getting too excited. Okay, the men's competition, the Japanese hero won, as we would expect. Yuma Kajiyama, the 2022 Olympic silver medalist, a wonderful short. The free, some mistakes, but in second place, Daniel Grassel. He rose from 5th to 2nd, and then in third place, another Japanese man, Tatsuya Suboi, his very first Grand Prix medal, and he's the 2022 world bronze medalist in the junior division.
And this was his only event too, and to win a medal in front of your home crowd at your only Grand Prix, you gotta feel pretty good. So congrats to him. And in the men's event, it was actually looking like a sweep of the podium there too, but Kawamura actually had a really bad free skate. But we are talking about, of course, Yuma Kageyama.
And you love Yuma.
I adore him. Like every time he's like, look at him clapping his little cheeks as he sets up for his program. So his free program was not clean. Triple flip, very outside the circle with that left arm. Lands a little cheated, goes down on it, but that did not seem to phase him. He still comes through with 2 more quad toes, 2 triple axels, a late triple Lutz triple loop combo. And that triple flip will come. He only debuted it last season. And I know I said before that Kaori probably has one of my favorite step sequences. I say that about a lot of skaters, but this step sequence in this program is so well done. The work that Lori Nickel is doing, not Lori Nickel, sorry. Lori Nickel, of course, and
who you think
Carolina Costner.
Oh, yes.
Carolina Costner's on his coaching team have done great work for him.
Yeah.
He's already had great skating skills, and she's just really found a way to just make it blossom to another level.
I love to see her in the kiss and cry with him because she's such an iconic skater. And yes, she's brought some of that je ne sais quoi to his programs. That's what makes him so great is he's got the jumps, he's got the technical, but he also gives the audience something else, which is special and not easy to do.
And I think this is what's going to keep him competitive against Ilya Malinin, because even in this program with the fall, he got 105 in his technical. Ilya at Skate Canada 107. But even on Yuma's worst day, I will always put him ahead of Malinin in the program components. And so if he can skate clean next to him at the Grand Prix final,
let's hope that someone can push Ilya. I did want to mention before we get off the men, in 4th place, American Andrew Torgashev. Now he was 3rd in France. The only reason that he was at this event is because Stephen Gogolev of Canada had an injury, a back injury, so that meant that he could go instead, and he made the most of that opportunity.
And also shout out to him because his free program, if you haven't watched it, was absolutely gorgeous. But of course, Gogolev wasn't there, and that's kind of been the vibe of the Grand Prix is the lack of Canadian men. Like, where they at? What's going on? But luckily, we had a conversation with Kurt Browning today on the status of men's skating in Canada, and he had some wonderful words of advice for future figure skaters.
I can tell you that the closer I got to the competition, the better I felt. You have to enjoy competing, and you have to find the things in it that make you work hard at home, and don't just don't just work hard at home and then get there and go, work hard for the moment. Keep playing it in your head and keep putting yourself under pressure and in the TV lights, and someone just skated great before you. Yes, that's the best because I'm going to skate better than that. And then my mark's even going to be higher. Play those games with yourself so that in the moment, you're halfway there already so that you can enjoy competing. And the pressure and the fun and the excitement. If you knew what was going to happen, it'd be boring. If you already knew. Yeah. So relish in the competition and then get out there and fight. Fight for it in that split second. That's when you do the fighting. Or 10 seconds before the jump, when you change your mind to go, no, I'm not tired. I just need a split second of energy and I've got it. Play the game and, enjoy the moment. And I think that's what happened for me, that I love the big moments. Didn't always work, of course, but that's my advice. Is practice being there in your head at home.
Great words of wisdom from such a great man. You can watch that full interview on our YouTube. It's probably on a link around somewhere around this video. You can find it. But we got to talk about the Japanese women who swept the podium again for the second time this season.
Yeah, pretty incredible. At Skate Canada and now at home in Japan. Does it get any better than that? Kaori Sakamoto led the Japanese team. Monet Chiba, her first Grand Prix medal. And Yuna Aoki, she wins, had a personal best in the short. The 22-year-old, a couple problems in the free, but what an improvement from a 7th place finish at Skate America earlier in the season. And my favorite routine, all that jazz. Kaori Sakamoto, she set a personal best score for total score in this competition this season. So it's pretty remarkable what she's done. And this program looked a lot different than it did just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, Skate America, she won, but had some, there's going to be asterisks on that win. Here, she was flawless. This program will have you out of breath while you're watching it. All gas, no brakes. Absolutely immaculate, starting off with that beautiful double axel. What I love about this program is that not a nuance, not a highlight of the music is wasted on the choreography or the jumps. It is full attention to detail all the way through. This double axel, Euler, triple sow is what gave her trouble at Skate America. Here, no problem. Absolutely flawless. There's nothing else to say. It's just she emanates like power. Like she doesn't even have to show facial expression. It's just her aura.
Right. Ray-France Dubray, right, choreographed all that jazz. And you watch some free programs and you just get exhausted watching. And she comes off that ice, like it's so action-packed because of the technical difficulty, the step sequences, and she's bagged after the end of that. She's just holding on for dear life. But I loved her reaction. If we could take a look at it when the scores came up and she realized that she has the highest total score.
152.95. That is a huge score. Very, very close to a personal best. 155.77 is a personal best score. She got that at the World Championships in 2022. And there, the realization, she's won again. It is a Japan 1-2-3. And Kaori Sakamoto.
Highest technical score, right? Of anyone, or total score, of anyone this season.
By
so
19
good for
points.
her.
Yeah, and you know what? I love how she's always surprised by her own brilliance. Like, yeah, girl, you're that girl. You did that. This
You're
is
that
why
good, right?
We call you Queen Kaori for a reason, and she's a skater's skater. And of course, second place went to her teammate, second and third, but Mona Chiba. I wanted to talk about her a little bit. She dazzled us with a clean program with that Donner Summer short program. It was so fun, but then she gave us divinity in that Ariana Concerto free program. 3 gorgeous jump passes in that second half. Anytime she puts her hands above her head for her rip-on, she literally looks like a little fairy going for a twirl. I don't know if you remember these it was a toy. It was this little fairy and you would pull the ripcord and it would go flying around.
Oh yeah,
definitely
okay.
a 90s kids toy.
Yeah.
That's what she reminds me of. And she is the reigning 4 continents champion, but has never gotten a medal on this Grand Prix. Again, she was just very new to the Grand Prix circuit to senior. And she just nails it, not only in the short program, but in this free. And I can't wait to see what she does at her next Grand Prix, which is at the Cup of China, and we'll see if she can potentially make the final.
Third place, Yuna Aoki, her short program, she set a personal best score. She was finishing third overall with the short, and then in the free, she had some under rotations, kind of fell down a bit, but certainly an improvement, as I said, from that 7th place finish at Skate America.
Yeah, and I'm obsessed with. Here's that triple loop. Her quintessential jump. She makes it look so easy. It almost makes you think, how do you struggle with rotations with that looking so clean? But I'm obsessed with this short program. It's an Astor Piazzolla piece, overused, but this is how you skate to a music that skaters know way too well. That step sequence. There's this little drag moment. You can see the finishing of her lines. She gives me a little bit of Akiko Suzuki, but still wholly Yuna Aoki on her own. And again, this is her first Grand Prix medal. I can't wait to see more of her.
So right now we know the two women that are guaranteed a spot in the Grand Prix final. That's Kaori Sakamoto and Wakaba Higuchi. What do you think? Is it possible that Japan could get all 6 spots to that Grand Prix final that's coming up in December?
I think it's a possibility, but we have to remember that Amber Glenn still has her Grand
Right.
Prix left, and she won her first one. She's been skating very well. I think that she's going to come out with two good, strong performances to qualify for that Grand Prix final. So I don't think it will be an all Japanese Grand Prix final, though it is still a possibility. It might be 5 out of the 6.
Come on, let's put $5 down on that.
20.
I think
Oh,
it's
you
going to
think?
be. Yeah, I think there are going to be 6 Japanese competitors in. I don't know. I'm going out on a bit of a limb.
No, it's not that far of a limb.
Yeah.
There's 9 of them, I think, on this Grand Prix circuit this season, and all of them have been delivering strong performances. Every single podium has had at least 2 Japanese women on it so far, and they've swept 2 of them. And the depth is so deep. Yuna Aoki just, I think, last year broke through the top 10 in nationals for the first time. So
Yeah,
this
it's-
is what we're dealing with the Japanese women.
That's why they have the pressure before they come to these Grand Prix
Exactly,
events
yeah.
competing at home. Okay, let's look ahead to next week. Finlandia Trophy. That will start on November 15th, and there are 3 Canadian teams that we're going to be able to see. One of them is, of course, Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier. But let's start with the pairs competition, and it's going to be Kellyanne Laurent, Lucas Etier, and, of course, the reigning world champions, Diana Stiletto Dudak and Maxime Deschamps. Now, for Maxime and Deanna, they can book their tickets, so they say, to that Grand Prix final, as can Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, because they won Skate Canada as well. They just need to be on the podium to make it.
Essentially just to be on the podium, but they are looking to win for Piper and Paul. Fearon Gibson of Great Britain, who won their very first Grand Prix against Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, will be their biggest competition.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see where the judges put them in relationship to each other, because there's a feeling that certainly the Brits could be on the world podium.
They're creeping up there.
Yeah, they are
They're
creeping up
there. But, I think that Piper and Paul still have this as long as they skate well, because, 2 out of the 3 medalists from Worlds have faltered in both their Grand Prix. Marco Fabry and Charlene Guenard came second to the French team. And, talking about Diana Stiletto Dudek and Maxime Deschamps, this is actually a pretty open event for them. I think it's theirs to lose. Their biggest competition are the Italians, Ghilardi and Ambrosini, who they've beaten handedly many, many times. But of course, they want to go out there to get a good skate under their belt before they head to the final.
Yeah, so just 2 events left, right? This one coming up in Finland, and then the Cup of China to close out the season. And then we'll know all 6 spots in all 4 disciplines to that Grand Prix final in Grenoble, France in December. That'll be a good one.
It's going to be an amazing one. I'm looking forward to it. Let us know, who are your faves at NHK? Was it Kaori Sakamoto's free program, which again, I'm still super duper tired watching that, but it's immaculate. And be sure, of course, like Brenda said, to watch Finlandia Trophy starting November 15th on CBC Gem. And we will see you next week for our recap of Finland.
Happy skating!
Bye-bye.